ScaL. What are we doing here? NBA Cup. We got some games, only 2. It's all right. Spurs, Thunder, Lakers, Suns. We're going to get right into it. No bullshit. Let's go. All right. First, we're looking at Luke Kornet for under his points and rebounds. And let me tell you why. The Lakers give up the least points and rebounds to centers in the league. They are ranked number 1. And if you take a look here, points and rebounds, okay, it's looking like he goes under his line quite often. He goes under his line more than he goes over his line. Now, if we look deeper into this, and if we look at, check this out, Joel Embiid, under his line. Queta, under his line. Mark Williams, under his line. Derek Queen, he's the only one that went over. Riddle me that, because I have no idea why. It's Derek Queen. Anyway, all right. So that's my first pick. I think that's a pretty good read. And without Wembanyama, he's been playing. You would think he'd be playing better and going over, but no, he hasn't. He's been the same. His minutes are staying the same also, which is crazy. But yeah, that's the first read. Then we're going to take a look at, let's look at LeBron James for his RA. You know LeBron, he's got too big of a head. In these situations where it's a nationally televised big game, you know he's going in. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to score, because his mindset has really switched to, I mean, it's kind of always been like that. He's always been a facilitator. He's always been, trying to rebound the ball and just fill those roles. And you know what? I think tonight he's going to shine when it comes to that. Let's take a look at his RA. Yeah, we're going to look at his RA. Rebounds and assists. What is his line? Yeah, right now, let's see. Well, you're going to look at him being a small forward. He's usually bringing up the ball. But let's just say it's hard to really judge what he does. But anyway, look at this. Versus point guards, 24 and 14 for rebounds and assists allowed in the league. Now let's look at his head-to-head. He's gone over his line. Well, this is kind of last year, so you really can't judge that. So his last 10, he's 70% in his last 10 for his line at 13, 12.5. I think tonight, again, he pops off. So we're going to take LeBron for his RA. And then we're going to look, while we're on the Lakers, we're going to take a look at Luka. And I think Luka goes over his PRA tonight. I think Luka is on track to have another 50 PRA game. I think that, let's take a look. PRA. It's just crazy, right? 50 PRA, just like, but look at him. Look at him. You can take him for 50 and be safe, but look at his head-to-head. No, same thing. They haven't played. They played. Yeah, he had 57 the last time they played. 57. This is a big game. Nationally televised again. They're playing for big money. Let's look at the line. Let's look at the matchup. Obviously, versus point guards. Look at that. They'll have the most points, 24th, most rebounds, and assists. I think he has a big game. I think that this is one of those, I'm Luka Doncic, and I'm here to play, and he's going to. Let's see what else we can take a look at. Look at these guys who did go over their lines. Craig Porter, who's that? Jalen Suggs. If Suggs can do it, jeez. Mike Conley. All right. I've seen enough. Luka Doncic for over 51.5. I'm just going to go back real quick. I'm just going to put that in the slate so we can go over it later. Okay. And then we had Luke Kornet for under, right? His points and rebounds. No, points and rebounds. We're going to look at his. All right. Oh, just so we have it, I can remind you later. Anyway, let's take a look at Stephen Castle. He is just one of my favorite players in the league. This man came back on a minutes restriction and still cashed his line. I think that's unbelievable. Yeah, look at that. 28 PRAs last game. First game back. The man's a beast, and they don't give him respect. Look at his line, 25.5. Where's the respect for Stephen Castle? You can go take him for 23 and still have good value with this play. And check this. Let's look at the matchup. They allow a lot of assists, decent amount of points. His rebounds, I mean, the ball is just going to fall to him being a point guard. He gets 5 rebounds a game. The guy, he's offense. He's a defensive and let's just see if he's getting more. Does it show you the offensive and defensive? Okay. Yeah, look at that. He's a little bit more focused on the defensive rebounds. And I'm assuming he's exceeded 3.5 rebounds in his 15 of his last 16 games. So if you'd be taking for 4 rebounds as a stat, go ahead. All right. So PRA 25.5, we're taking that line. All right. Now we're going to take a look at problem with Dylan Brooks is that we don't know whether or not Devin Booker's playing tonight. It's just one of those, it just always is something. It's always something. If he plays last minute, is Dylan Brooks going to pop? Let's take a look at his head-to-head. Last time they played, he had 24 PRA. All right? Let's look at his rebounds and assists. 5 rebounds and assists versus OKC. I think he's safe for his line. Let's look at that. They give up the small forwards. Pretty good defense. I mean, this is the Thunder. They're pretty good defensively. So, you know what? It's just either if a player's going to push through it and step through it or not. I think he will. I think Dylan Brooks has a good game. I know he didn't have a great game the last game. So, I love the bounce back. Always. Big game. Big players show up. Dylan Brooks is going to pop off. Let's just keep this one to the side and check the injury reports later on to see if Devin Booker's playing. Okay, now we're going to take a look at, Chet Holmgren. Now, is Isaiah Hartenstein still out? We're going to take a look. Let's see the lineup. Yeah, he's still out. Isaiah Joe. He's a big shooter. So we're going to take a look at Holmgren. Let's see what he's done. Let's look at his rebounds. This man might be... Now let's look at the matchup. And we'll see. Okay, they don't allow a lot of rebounds. And you're going to call him a center. They do allow the 21st ranked team in allowing rebounds, 13.4 to centers. Might be safe to take him for 8 rebounds. Can you bring this to an alt line? How do you make this an alt line? Alt lines. There you go. All right, over 8 minus 230. I like that. 8 rebounds to be safe. All right, and let's just look at his points and rebounds, just so we could have an option. Do they allow the 14th most points to centers? The last time they played, popped off with 31 points and rebounds. Let's just look at his PRA. 32, so he only had 1 assist. All right. So his points and rebounds. His line is 26.5, guys. 26.5. You're going to take this man for 25 PR? Sign me up. 25 PR. I like that. All right, now we're going to take a look at... Who's next? We're going to take a look at Jalen Williams. Let's take a look at his... matchup. Yeah, rebounds and points. Just going to take a look at his assists. Don't allow many assists to shooting guards, but, you know, he's bringing up that ball. You know what? Let's look at his last 10 games. I mean, you know, the guy's been injured, but 5 assists? Is 5 assists a decent line? Is there any data on 5 assists? No, I'm sure you can get it on DraftKings. I don't know why it's saying that, but I'm sure 5 assists is a thing. Even on FanDuel, you can get an alt line for 5. 5 might be the move. I like this. Let's take a look at his. Let's just take a look at his points and assists. Actually, just take a look at his rebounds. Yeah, you never know with the rebounds, right? Let's take a look at his points and assists. What's his line? 25. Yeah, it's just the points is something where it's just like Shea demands the ball. You're safe for taking him for his assists because you have Shea in the team who's going to shoot the ball every possession. So I like him for his assists tonight. Let's take a look at Devin Booker's still questionable. Let's take a look at Royce O'Neal. I kind of like Royce O'Neal. I think he's pretty consistent. Look at his line for his points and assists. Let's look at his head-to-head. He crushed it last game. So his assists per game, he hovers around 2, 1, whatever. Let's take a look at his rebounds. Yeah, I like his rebounds a little bit better. Let's look at his matchup versus small forwards. They rank 2 against rebounds. Unfavorable. Okay. All right, let's take a look and see his rebound chances. He had 8 last game, and he got 7. I mean, let's take a look at his points and rebounds. 18, and his line is 13. Let's head to head. His line is 13.5. What are they on drugs? Can you get an alt line for 13? It's not available yet. They're not available yet, but if you can take this line for 13, I think this is pretty safe. 90% in his last 10. It won't let you take it for 13 because there is none, but I'm sure if I look at FanDuel right now, I'll find it. I don't know why this doesn't tell me. You know, FanDuel is the type of app that like only gives out these alt lines like pretty much before the game. Maybe an hour, 2 hours before the game is probably still too early, you know, for me right now. But I like Royce O'Neal. We'll just put him down for 13.5 just so we can save it. But yeah, I like this one. All right, let's take a look at Fox. Take a look at his points. Now head-to-head, how did he do head-to-head? Last time they played was the 28th. He had 29 points. His matchup is looking 12 to points. Let's take a look at his PRA. What did he do with his PRA? Honestly, well, this was last year. What's his line? 33.5? Could you take him for an alt line for 30 maybe? Let's take a look at what 30 is. Minus 265. I kind of like that if you can get it for minus 250. Maybe 30 PRA for De'Aaron Fox. Good luck. Comment below if you guys win some money. Thank you for staying tuned this long. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I'll get this video up ASAP so we can get these picks in. Good luck.